Hitting it now. We are Trekyards. We are Trekyards. This is our new intro. Do you like our new intro? Yeah. Like, oh, I got it. I don't even have any. Oh, look.
I feel like people should clip that now and actively use that.
I don't have a ship. I need a ship to fly by. Anyway, hi. We have a new intro, I guess.
Right. I take no responsibility. Blah, blah. No responsibility.
Edit. What?
What?
Oh.
Welcome back to Trekyards, everyone. I am Captain Foley.
He is. He's a very handsome man, that Captain Foley.
Oh, I double-edged sword that already. Can't win, can I see?
Welcome back, guys. We are here again today to talk to you about things and stuff.
Yes, we're going back around Stranger Worlds, as we are now finally right at the precipice of the show that people actually asked for. The first Trek show we've actually asked for. Ever? I guess TNG in essence, because people kept asking for a new show, but you know what I mean. The first fan-requested show.
Yeah.
See how that goes with the 2-season order. Although obviously in the olden days you get 26 for a season, so it's less than 1 season order in the old days.
Are they only getting 10 for the first season? Those Changing Worlds.
That's how these shows go, Stuart. That's how they go.
Sometimes there's 13 or 14.
Well, that was Netflix that made 13 exclusively, and originally it was 10, but they made them do 3 more because they had to fix the canon. They had to fix the pacing issues, and I just guess they just kept with 13 until they no longer on Netflix, and therefore it's back to 10 or now it's 10. Sorry. Hi. Yes. Hi.
Right. We're here to talk about an intro that's like a minute long. So it'd be interesting to see how long this live can go for.
Really up to you guys, as a lot of these things are. And of course, if we'd waited 3 days, we'd see it in brand spanking full HD versus the lackluster online versions. Even Starter.com is a bit lackluster. But hey, I mean, if they don't want to release a nice, crisp version, that's not on us.
And this one doesn't have any of the names or anything. I'm sure there'll be names thrown in there. And
well, yes, that'll be mild spoilers. And I'm wondering where their placement. It doesn't necessarily feel like places to put them. So it might not even have names.
Just like Enterprise, I think. They'll just be like, they'll put them in. Don't worry.
But I just saw a few versions like, well, where's that going? Okay. But yeah, I'm going to start sharing. See you back in
Good, go for it. Yes, 146 of you guys here to start with already 60 likes. Amazing, guys. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Let's try to get to 120. You thought I was going to say 100, didn't you? But no, I said 120. Hit the like button, guys. If you want to super chat, we'd really appreciate it. Any little bit helps. Also joining the channel as well. There's a join button down there. By all means, hit that. But if you do super chat like Preston M just did, we will read that comment on air in a second. It's a good way to get your opinion out there, or let us know what you think about what we're saying, perhaps, as well. We do read them all regardless. So if you want to have your voice heard, that's a great way to do it. And it supports the channel as well. You can also head on over to Patreon/Trekyards to help us on another monthly basis. That's another way. Like I said, that join button down there is a subscription to the channel. It's a monthly subscription, not very much a month, depending on what tier you pick. And that all adds up and makes our lives better and easier. So if you're able to, please do so. Don't forget also there's links down below to Eagle Moss. There's the Eagle Moss affiliate link. There's a discount code Trekyards10 for Eagle Moss as well. Save yourself some money on some of your Trekyards orders, your Eagle Moss orders. There's also the Teespring store and the TeePublic store, so you can get yourself some Trekyards swag there. Lots of links down below. If you want to send us a PayPal, if you don't want to super chat or are not able to, PayPal is another option. Just send it to trekyards@hotmail.com. Again, all that information is down in the description of every video. So just let us know in the regular chat that you sent that, and we'll read your comment or question via the email from PayPal. So, John Murdoch. Wow. I disagree with that, but okay.
Oh, that's a good thing to come
John
into.
Murdoch says there's too much fan service in this. It's ridiculous. Hopefully he's being sarcastic.
Yeah, is there any? I would say there's like no fan service.
And then he says, I didn't like it, dude. There you go. Right. It's a great way to start.
Fantastic, yeah.
Well, Preston M, though, threw in a $10 super chat.
Oh,
So
thank
you
you.
so much, Preston. Still at work, but wanted to pop in and say hi. Looking forward to watching later to hear your take on the title sequence. Yeah, hopefully you guys, if you don't catch the lives, you go back and watch them later. And it's not as fun because you can't interact really, but you still get the chat on the side. You still get the conversation and the discussion. So
Yeah. 170 people. It's amazing. Vote in the poll. There's options right there. I'm sure you've read it out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I haven't read it out yet. Hold on.
Oh, my goodness. Go for it.
It says, what do you think of the Strange New World Season 1 title sequence? Liked it, loved it, it was okay, or didn't like it overall? Oh, there you go. Go vote. Currently have 65 votes.
So where were you when this came out? Because it certainly surprised me. I was like, oh, this is unnecessary.
Where was I? This was like last week.
Late last week.
I don't know. I don't know when I first saw it. It
Thursday.
didn't. I watched it on my phone, and I was like,
Yeah.
this doesn't feel like a cohesive intro at all. It just seems like a bunch of Star Trek Online shots thrown together. But all right, good job. And then I watched it a few more times since then. It's got a lot of nice stuff going on in it, and it kind of marries like TNG with, or not TNG, TOS, kind of with Voyager, as far as even the music feel and just the, going over anomalies and through nebulas and planets and stuff. So it's an interesting take for sure. I don't think Pike has a lot of gravitas when he does the, where no man has gone before. I wish they would have tweaked it a little and not had the exact same wording. I wish they would have made it more Pike-esque, just changing something, But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on it.
Obviously, we don't want to go in depth just there. I was more where you were, but and John says, "Dude, seriously, if you can't see the fan service, I don't know what to tell you. Tell us. Let us know. I mean, there's no Klingon ships, there's no TOS ships, there's no Star.
Just some flybys.
Yeah, very. Yeah, all right. So I was very much in. I think I saw my phone actually.
Yeah.
And I didn't know it was a task sequence, so I saw the initial startup of the Enterprise, so I thought it was just, oh, cool, here's like a trailer for the ship. And it's just sort of flybys. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, there's no names. So it didn't feel like a title sequence in the same way that I would associate.
Yeah.
I learned it was a title sequence, I'm like, oh, okay. Huh. So so not knowing it was probably helped my enjoyment, but then it is a bit underwhelming for me. That's a sort of
as you said, it felt like it was focusing on the ship a little bit. They've had little teaser trailers for each of the characters.
Yeah,
a lot of people consider the ship a character, so I just assumed it was that at first as well.
Yeah, with the audio makes perfect sense. Then it sort of ends off with that warp. That would be yes, it's the Enterprise trailer.
Yeah. We got some more super chats. So Ray Ricks, £5, better than Discovery wireframe intro, so that's a plus. I mean, Discovery kind of had an interesting premise for their opening. I don't hate it per se, but
yeah, I mean, at least they're all different enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Randy Miller, $5.
The
bouncy, happy theme song makes Voyager and DS9 themes seem like for funerals. DS9 for sure is a funeral theme. Voyager, nah.
It's pretty epic. It's orchestral and...
It is, but it's very, it's ominous the way it starts out. It just feels like... I don't know. I think Voyager's more uplifting.
I would say so. Yeah. Well, DS9 gets more uplifting when they redid it.
Yeah, that's true.
A bit, anyway.
David Rand McKay, $2. Are we getting too excited for this new show? I guess you can't get too excited for it. Just, hopefully you don't get your hopes up too high and then get them dashed by bad writing or whatever, but we don't know what's going to happen, so.
Yeah, and people don't keep expectations low because that's a good way of doing this. Picard, we already it's been a bad thing when we raised our expectations and they lowered. Keep them low for this. Go in, just enjoy it. We'll see.
David Rand McKay goes on to say, well, he's been a member for 3 months of the Wicked Commander, so thank you. Those memberships are awesome. He says, it won't ever live up to your expectations. Yeah, I don't think it ever will. I think a lot of people are very, very jazzed about this, and I hope it doesn't disappoint them too much. So.
Yeah, and people, a lot of people say the best thing about Discovery Season 2 was Pike and Spock. So that is the, if that's the crystalline, that's the gold star for them, and this is going to be based on that, and obviously it is the Enterprise. Though it's not clearly our Enterprise, it's the Enterprise. It's not pandering to the original audience. It's just this new audience only, really. So it's going to be its own thing, fresh, unique, move on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of tempered by the whole Akiva Goldsman thing being in charge, but at the same time, with it being episodic, there can be the chance that one episode's going to be bad, the next one's going to be good.
Yep.
It's not going to drag out as a bad story arc, over so many episodes. So.
Yeah, well, exactly. He helped load Picard, and that went into a downward spiral. So it's proofs in the pudding, etc. But okay, so what is your sort of overall, more detailed thoughts then of it?
Like I said, I mean, it feels very fan done. It doesn't feel like a Star Trek opening to me, really. It's definitely a different take. Like I said, it's got some Voyager elements to it, but the music kind of has grown on me a little bit the more I've heard it. Nice little touch at the end there to have it be like TOS, but it's just not. I mean, I love ships, as you guys know. We're Trekyards, we love ships. So the ship porn is great, but I mean, honestly, it's basically what I do in Star Trek Online, going around, fly my ship around and move the camera around. That's all this was to me. It's like pan out, zoom out, whatever. So.
Okay, so what I'll say is that the Prodigy theme and Task Force is much, much better. I'm comparing the two. That is beautiful music, very bouncy. The shots are really creative and artistic, and the ship looks fantastic. These two side by side show the difference in quality. I think that one is like a 9.5 out of 10. This is not. I'll save my thoughts, but it's interesting. They're both doing the same thing, but this I always said it feels more like a fan thing. Like I could make this just without as many fancy background elements because obviously I haven't got the software. But the shots are very, not plain, but they're very anyone can do them. And certainly with Mark Bell's fantastic 3D model, you could replicate this today as a fan.
That's what I've been saying. I hope somebody does it with the TOS Enterprise, because this would be beautiful as the TOS Enterprise.
Yeah, and I'm thinking about the Orville task sequence. That gave me a sense of wonder. For some reason, this one didn't. There's a disconnect here, and I do space shots, so for this is literally part of my bread and butter. So seeing it, whereas our thumbnail's slightly off frame, it's interesting that it is in theory what we want, but that is also the problem with doing a tile sequence. You're doing out of context shots where in theory some will be stinkers, some will be great, but none of them quite grab me in the way that I will go into them. And I certainly am more of an authority than most people, having done both tile sequences before and also probably over 1,000 space shots of some kind. So it's an interesting one. It's very interesting.
Mm-hmm. It's unique. It definitely stands out amongst the openings, I think.
But not by standing out though. It's also it stands out in a vanilla way. Like Voyager has a real grandioseness, and the shots are very impressive for the time. Like it is just the ship is flying in space. It's not gonna sit with you in the way the other ones do. Like Prodigy, like I say, really hits home. The Lower Decks one, it really hits home. It's fun. It's silly. So it's unique in that it is simple.
Mm-hmm. And Matt says there's something odd and heavy-handed about the texturing on the ship. The large amounts of dirt on it sort of kill the scale of the ship.
Yeah, I mean in this thumbnail you can see the plates on the hull. It's really awkward. I mean, it's an awful plating. The texturing is very bad on this ship. That really does hurt. How dark it is, how big the plates are. It feels like a tiny CG fan model. Like it doesn't have that elegance of a Star Trek ship. And again, I am more of an expert than most people. It has the plate shouldn't be that big. Like you don't tend to have the pennant as a physical plate. Like you can see it. It should be. It's paint. It's a nice sleek thing on the hull. You can see it. It's just metal. It's welded metal. It sort of loses its majesty a bit. Yeah.
Dave Stelzer, $2. I enjoy all Trek, but I'm pretty easy to please. I'm sure your wife appreciates that. Peter Lakako, $5.
Peter.
The original series intro was all ship, don't forget. No, it wasn't. Phew, phew, phew. I hate those flyby shots. Sure, you get the around the planet, but
also it's funny that Peter is saying we the Trek guys are going to forget the TOS tile sequence. So no, we take it all into account.
Yeah.
And that's the least impressive of them all. I mean, that's not... That's 30 seconds of it is, just, like I say, a blur with names. Like, you know what I mean? It is the most basic, and this is certainly more impressive than that, but that's not a high bar.
Yeah.
That's fine, you know?
SBS Guru 2000, €5. The theme copies from the original TOS theme while being bland and unmemorable. No clear melody, no oomph. A problem of most of the new shows. Yeah, like I said, the theme didn't really strike me at all the first like 2 times I watched it. After that, I like deliberately listened, and it was like, all right, this is all right. This is not too bad. I still do think it is better than the TOS theme. I'm not a huge fan of the original TOS intro, honestly, as far as the music goes. So, yeah.
Yeah, music's a tricky one. I was really blown away by how unmemorable the track is.
Me too.
Like, the first bit, you get it, and if that was the entire tile sequence, you didn't even need the flybys. Just have the ship turn on. That would have been a better tile sequence by itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that, like, is a unique creative thing. But I couldn't even... I listened to it 10 or so times. I couldn't even hum the second half. It's so...
Yeah.
Back burner. And again, the Prodigy theme is so good. It's so bouncy. It's so... Yes. That is, like... Vroom.
We need to redo our top 10 themes again now that we have a lot more theme shows to include.
Yeah.
Because it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, I do think this would be a theme music, probably second bottom, third bottom. It's not interesting.
Yeah.
And it's weird because I would have thought they would ham it up and go more, like the TOS is very like bouncy, go go go. So it's odd they went so gentle.
Mm-hmm.
It's an odd choice, and the shots are quite gentle. Obviously, they're just meandering through space. But I was surprised by the lack of energy, given that especially Discovery Season 2 was very bouncy, energetic. I'm kind of surprised that has not carried over into this. I mean, all the trailer energy is very much like we're gonna have fun, we're gonna go, and this is not that. So yeah, I'm quite intrigued by the it's too gentle for them.
Yeah. Speaking of, guys, 232 of you here, 120 likes. We did hit our 120 goal that I set, but now we have 232 of you. So let's get up to 200. Hit that like button if you haven't. Kit 10K sent us a PayPal of $10. So thank you so much, Kit.
Thank you.
Says, yo guys, what's up? I got to admit the opening was good, but not the greatest, but certainly not the worst. I just hope the show will measure up to at least half of what we are expecting, but we'll just have to wait and see. And yes, Google is still being a bit of a bitch to me for the moment.
Boo.
I can't super chat right now.
All of the do.
But other people have super chatted, so let's get to those.
Yeah, what do you guys think? We really want to know.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Corner of the Moon, $5. I hope the title sequence duration can fit both the cast and 50 executive producers. Well, you know that scene where there's the green nebula and the little tiny Enterprise way far in the distance? That's for like a wall of executive producers that just in the green spot, so you don't really notice. That's what it's for. Joshua Dworkin.
Yep. I'm going to agree with that.
Joshua Dworkin throws in $20. Oh, thank you so much, Joshua.
Thank you.
I think they were going for the cross between Voyager and TOS. My main complaint is that the hull material is too dark. Kind of one of our complaints as well.
Yes,
don't worry.
Real bad texturing. But it's stylistic.
Yeah.
You know, stylistic.
Well, especially against space. Like, it gets lost a little bit in some of the shots.
Well, they've got to go super reflective, and it just, again, breaks scale. Doesn't definitely feel the Enterprise. It's tricky.
Yeah. Michael Smith, $5. I liked it, but only because it suggested an episodic show rather than giving us major plot points like Discovery and Picard. The music score was just okay.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good summation.
I do. Now I'm thinking, I just wish they stuck with the ship turning on and then warping away at the end. I think that would have been a much stronger tile sequence, personally.
Yeah. It's almost like the end of Star Trek Beyond. The end credits where you're zipping through stuff and you see the Enterprise like zip by occasionally.
Yes. Yeah.
Jersey at $10. Have they changed the model? Is it just me, or does the window spacing make it feel closer to the original scale of the Enterprise? They have changed the model since Discovery. Yes, we've talked about that a few times.
Not a lot.
Even wraparound windows wrapping to the top of the saucer is the biggest thing.
I wouldn't say it's radically different, but it's a bit different. It would be fun to do a breakdown, but they clearly liked what they were going for because they doubled down on all the problematic things that we see.
Yeah. And Doc McGillicuddy, $2. It's a them song with a Tuma. The ship's dirty.
Really?
Oh, it's a theme song with a Tuma. I think.
And Sam's is his second favorite intro of all time next to TNG. Hey Sam, let us know why.
Yeah.
I know it's more complicated because of the new CGI, so compared to Voyager and DS9. So if you're just looking at wow, like there's stuff on the screen, obviously it's going to be those ones because obviously it is more elaborate.
Mm-hmm.
But I think artistically, it's not got any particular like, you remember that shot of Voyager going through the nebula. That is gorgeous. Like that is a standout moment. Most of the Voyager moments are this. Okay, out of all the shots, what was the standout moment? Before we rewatch it, what was the thing that grabbed you the most out of all the shots? What's the one? Because there's got to be one that actually grabs you. I've got one.
Honestly, it's the Enterprise from the top, but far, far, far away.
Right.
The one I was just talking about, the green nebula thing. Because I like the ship from the top, especially when it was closer to the camera. How about you?
The only shot that grabs and that's really cool, is the psychedelic rainbow shot, where it's being hit by reflections of the rainbow, and the whole thing's like not even lit by space; it's lit by a rainbow, and there's like plumes. I was like, okay, that's a really weird thing to see. That was cool.
I don't even remember that.
There you go. So I was like, okay, rainbow plumes in space. Okay, yeah, sure. Why not?
I kind of agree with Stuart Perry there because he's got a great first name, but besides that, Anson Mount sounded very subdued saying the lines. Like there was no like grandioseness to the way he said it. There was no awe with the way he said it. Kirk had kind of an adventurous ring when he did his space, the final frontier, and Anson Mount's like space, the final frontier.
Well, it's hard to compare the charisma of Anson Mount versus William Shatner in TOS. Like Shatner had so much more charisma.
Yeah.
Pike is good, obviously, that's why he's got his own show, but it's not really comparable, particularly.
Tertiary Adjunct says it needs more bongos. No, what it needs is more cowbell. Just saying. SVS Guru 2000, €5.
Thank you.
The theme ranking best to worst: DS9, Voyager, TNG, Lower Decks, TOS, Enterprise, Prodigy.
Wow.
The rest goes in the bin.
Oh, wow. That's a full bin.
Yeah. I would disagree with that ranking 100%.
Me too.
Anthony Tasui, $5 with no comment, but thank you so much, Anthony. Much appreciated.
Sorry, just
we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah,
whatever it is. Yeah. Rees York, $20 super chat. Awesome, thank you. Thanks for the comments, the criticisms, and the love. Overall, I hope everyone will like Strange New Worlds. I did the concept for the rainbow shot, by the way.
You got me on that one. You got me on that one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, welcome. Thanks for watching.
And that's interesting. So I imagine there was if you can answer this in the question, was it like lots of artists then pitched concepts and then they kind of put it together? So I would associate more tile sequence building it like you plan a thematic story, but it kind of felt like we had 20 ideas and we put 5 together or 10 together, and like, well, here's a set of shots. There wasn't as much of a flowing narrative as much as it could be, but that's interesting to know. But yeah, I think people are going to really enjoy the show. I think people are waiting for this specific upbeat, episodic, fun vibe, and we all like the characters. Like, I
just really hope the stories are well written.
Yes.
I'm sure the character arcs are going to be good. I mean, there's a lot of modern day shows that have really good storytelling arcs for characters that are episodic. So I just hope that carries through to this. So yeah, that's kind of where I stand.
Yeah, but I'm ignore the visuals. Besides, they're pretty. I think they've really gone for a fun cast here, and kind of the opposite to, the minimalist character basis of Discovery, where are they characters? Yeah, like they're really going on. Well, that's a flaw we had in Discovery. Let's make each one be boom, boom. We've got characters. We're going in. Yeah, that really feels very, very real here.
Kit 10K through sends another PayPal, $10. It says, I mostly agree with you, Samuel, about them stopping with the ship for the opening, but I think they should have had the ship power up, leave wherever she was, have Pike saying the opening up to the point where the ship leaves, have 1 or 2 flybys, and then go to warp to end the opening sequence. You're basically saying just recreate the space dock scene in motion picture. Have the ship all power up and then leave and then warp out. I would have been fine with that as well. But yeah. Jarzia though, $5. I will say visually there were a few points in the intro that reminded me of the Elite Force 2 intro, and that's a good thing. I haven't seen the Elite Force 2 intro in a long time, but
yeah, I had to get some prep for the engineering set, so I had to like go in and play the game again to get to that point. To then had to get some shots of it. Interesting.
Oh, nice.
All right, shall we? Shall we go?
Almost.
No, we should.
Yes.
Okay, almost.
Carl Babersey, 9 pounds.
Thank you.
It's all right. Pike's intro lacks awe and passion, and the theme meanders with no melody. I like the driving rhythm, and the ending is good, but it's so forgettable. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I like.
That's
the
a
ending
beautiful
as well.
summary. That's a really clean, crisp summary. Yeah. Good job.
Yeah. All right. That's at the end of the live, guys.
Really...
Carl just did our job for us, so we'll see you next time.
It's a very fair and balanced review of it. Yeah. Wow. But I also could imagine they might change the intro every season. I also mentioned that in the chat. This feels like it's not specifically trying to grab you in any particular way. It's trying to show the awe of space. And so we'll see a new one every year. That,
I'd be fine with that.
I mean, obviously it depends how the reaction is, but I could see. Because it would double down on the, we're going to go do things. And as they build their own mini canon, they can include things like a new Klingon ship or a new Romulan ship or whatever, into the intro.
Well, they change discoveries every year. They change lower decks every year. Just subtle little tweaks here and there. So,
yeah, that is true. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Can you imagine if it was like Enterprise Season 3, the ship gets more damaged over time, and by the end of the 7 seasons of Strange Worlds, it's just like a blackened mess. That's why the refit,
Ooh, Max says, I think we need to just call this channel Nitpick Yards. They're basically giving us everything we asked for. Apparently you don't want to watch a lot of Trekyards, but okay.
Yeah, that's a very uneducated comment. You're here to listen to us give an analytical breakdown. If you just want to look at it and not have a discussion about it.
Be like this, like, oh my god, it was so beautiful. That time it flew by and you saw the secondary hull up close. Oh my god.
What's for dinner? At that point, I mean,
where's our CBS shill money?
The point is to have a fair breakdown, look at the good, bad, and have our personal knowledge, experience, etc. Stuart being the more TOS fanatic from the olden days, me being a slightly more new fanatic from the newer days. Me with more CG, you with more miniature. That's why you're here to watch. And not nitpicks. I try not to nitpick. I analyze things and break it down. That's a big, it's fun. Mm-hmm. As you always said, this is like what we do at the bar, just without the bar.
Yeah, unfortunately. Dave Rand McKay, $2. You hear the Robert April news today? Pretty cool. Yes, it wasn't today. It was yesterday. And yes, we're well aware.
Yeah.
Well aware.
I said it's a bit weird because I did a film. Robert April was the captain, so I've got my own Robert April because I did shots for him for 90 minutes. So
Yeah.
All right, so starts out with
Morse code.
I guess they're secondary hull windows, although they don't. They must be because they're not the source windows.
Yeah, I would think they're secondary hull. I thought they were saucer windows at first, but yeah. I think they are. Because we see the saucer windows next.
And then we get. I mean, it's funny for them to really hang a lantern on. Oh, we know those front 3 things aren't windows, and we know there were never windows above them. Look at those front 3 things. Like I like that. It's like we're gonna double down on these front 3. Yeah. But it's a really interesting little bringing Trek from the darkness into the light. You could go with visually.
Mm-hmm.
All those 3 dots. I don't know.
Yeah. I still don't know. I don't like the registry lights being inset like the way they are, and also those wraparound windows. It's going to Galaxy class window look for me.
Well, this show isn't designed to fit into visual canon, so it does whatever it wants.
Yep.
It's its own unique thing.
I hear you. And we get the airlock thing at the back of the saucer.
Oh yeah, but it's not lit in this case.
No.
That must be our closest look at the airlock. I'm gonna brighten it up actually. Well, this isn't a particularly good version of it, but
No.
I do like the. I mean, this is very much like the Star Trek and '09's Darkness Beyond. The very like visceral, fire, flamey impulse engine, which is very impressive.
Yeah.
It's like magma. It's amazing how those metal plates still exist. Yeah, right. If it's that hot, it's little grills. Like how much power they have. It's like there's little bits of metal. That can be superheated every day. It's just funny this sort of scale, this sort of detail level. It's just funny how it's
Well, I do like that they got the honeycomb pattern and stuff on the grill. Like that looks very, very good. So, yeah. And then a nice shot of the the main deflector dish.
Very metal.
Lit. Yeah, being lit by, I assume, the lower planetary sensor dome.
I just think it's being lit. I don't think there's a direct context to it. A lot of
looks nice though.
Yeah, it's very if you were to make a spattered like tin, like for a display, like that sort of, it's all very clean metal in this shot. You know,
it looks good. I really like this shot. This one shot in particular is really nice. Space Thing Reckoning throws in $5.
Thank you.
I like this intro, and I'm cautiously optimistic for the show, but I'm still sad that we aren't getting a post Voyager series that looked and feels like this.
Like this. That would be a weird one to have.
I think he means episodic kind of thing.
Ah, well, Prodigy.
Like
I mean, pretty episodic. I mean, just saying.
Good Tea, Nice House throws in $5. The intro sounded like the Shield compound theme music from an Avengers movie. Visuals were nice, but those tree leaves looked very cartoonish. The tree leaves.
We'll get there. We'll note.
Okay.
Now, this next one I like because it's in John Eves' mind, but not necessarily ever in the show. These are the warp plasma events in the nacelles, which we know that's what they are. And they're not even lit yet, but they have this little vibration of plasma come out, even though they're not lit yet. So I like we know what this is. For the audience, they're just thinking, look, it's a metal and maybe a nacelle. And we're like, ha, plasma vents. Ha. Just, yeah.
I didn't know what they were, honestly.
Oh,
so
there you go, Stuart.
Thanks, man.
Welcome. Because they're actually glowing in the normal versions. Haven't been. I guess they haven't superheated yet. I guess would be the logic.
Yeah. I love this next three shots of the nacelle, though. Yeah, I'm digging just the red, as opposed to the multicolor of Kirk's, kind of where it changes from green, yellow, red, all that firing in there. I kind of like just the red. It's kind of a nice transition from the solid red with the spikes to what we see with Kirk. Because in the cage, it was just solid red. There was no light behind it, and it had the spikes. And then we go to this, and then go to eventually to Kirk's, which is nice.
But it's not meant to go to Kirk's, though, so it's not really...
Wow.
It's not designed to go into... Or it's not designed to go from Pikes. It's just a purely... Maybe from the NX one, but it's not designed to link those at all. I wish it was a more orange hue than pure red. It feels a bit too bloody. But I do really like the inner detail. I think the way it spins up feels really nice.
And Melissa Jericho says, why name a shuttle with the mushroom guy? Most of what he did was classified. The Stamets. Well, Stamets, you assume it's another scientist. There is an actual scientist named Paul Stamets that I listened to on a podcast, and he's very intelligent, and he's the namesake for the character on Discovery. So it's just another scientist named Stamets. It's not referring to Paul Stamets at all.
Personally, I assumed that as well. I assumed it wasn't Paul Stamets. It would be just not famous enough. Unless Pike said, let's name him that. But he barely worked with the man. Yeah,
you don't name ships or shuttles after people that are alive. You don't name them after contemporary people, generally.
And even if Pike specifically said, I want to name my shuttles after the Discovery crew, because why Stamets? Why wouldn't you have the Burnham and the Saru, which we might have, but it'd be a very weird thing to do. So I assume it's a different Stamets.
That'd be stupid.
Yeah, it'd be weird. Yeah. He didn't have a connection with Stamets specifically, so I assume it's not. It's just a happy quinkydink, personally.
And Eric Martin, $5. It's one knock. What? Don't like the music, and the texture on the hull looked odd in some shots. Yeah, the hull texture has been a standout for many people.
Hyper stylized. Hyper
Mm-hmm.
stylized. But, you know, it's its own unique universal look without any connection to Canon Prime. So, you know, it does what it does. And you've got...
Tuscan 38 makes a good point, too. Stamets was given a medal for what they did at the end of Season 1. That wasn't classified. Absolutely.
Well
just because he was lost in battle, but it's named in his honor as well.
Well, why he got the medal was classified, except saving the Federation. Like, if you researched why he got it, they'd say, said Federation redacted, and lots of people did, and, like, you know, they could also ask everyone who's at the ceremony not to tell people. Like, that's how classified works as well. You can't classify it if you were there. Like, everyone at the Battle of the Binary Star, everyone at all sorts of battles, I mean, most people wouldn't know he got the medal, necessarily. That's not... I mean, lots of people get medals all the time, I'm sure.
Yeah, and John Mack, maybe it's some way of memorializing people who are going to be redacted out of history. Well, they're not going to be redacted out of history. They still existed. The ship just got destroyed. All hands on board.
Just their importance is redacted.
Yes. Well, yeah, but...
Because all the Spore Drive research was redacted. So everything in his entire career was redacted up from a certain point. So... but they got low planetary sensor dome. Everything turning on. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You got the registry with... I don't know why... So I'm looking at this, the middle, or the last shot. So there's a registry, a very bright light hitting forward, 2 bright lights hitting the side. Is that the window light? Because that's an exceptionally bright bridge then, if that's the window light coming through.
It wouldn't be. This is very... I thought the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like that. I don't think that's a bridge window light, just because on the refit, which they tend to style this thing after, there's the bright lights. There's one bright light at the front, which is actually shining on the registry, and then there's one on each side.
Yeah.
Of the BC deck. So that's what that's emulating right there.
But there wasn't one on the front. That's the point. They've added another one in lieu of...
Yes. So I don't know why they chose that specifically. But
it gives it like a channel vibe, like, because there's metal, you can kind of see there's a certain colour. But you can see phase ball turrets right there. And it does feel very small, doesn't it, when you've got those windows on the rim? Like, it just feels really, really small, the ship.
Well, maybe they scaled it down to the proper size finally.
I mean, to be fair, you could work that math out really easily in terms of. Yeah, do it. I mean, very, very quick to know if it's huge or not, just by quick guess. You'd think. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm still not a fan of that inset registry area. Like, it kind of sinks in a bit, and you got those registry lights. Never a fan of that look. Sorry. Yeah. At least not on any ships of this era. I mean, later eras, sure, whatever.
Yeah, style over substance. I mean, it's not functional in a really specific way. So.
Yeah. Then a shot of it is presuming warp. I don't know what to say, honestly. It looks all right. It's got the sketchy warp effect again.
Kind of rainbow bridge look. More like transwarp.
Yeah.
And you got the first one, where awkwardly fast, I thought, as it zooms by. They kind of play with some speeds of the ship. They kind of maybe they've retimed them slightly, but the ship goes too fast in certain shots. Yeah,
and it's funny when it breaks through this like cloud and passes on. It looks like the NX-01. Just because of the color of the hull and stuff and that angle, you can't see the secondary hull. Just feels like the NX-01. Even the struts are similar to the NX-01.
I see. Yeah. Which would be fine if the ship was like 30 years earlier, but being like 4 years TOS is like, well, okay. And I'm noting here that there's now another set of glows I never noticed. That there's another set of blue glows inside the back heat exhausts, the fins, which is new. I didn't remember those from the previous version. So glows everywhere. Everything can glow on the nacelle on a glow.
Yeah.
And it does really get lost in space, doesn't it? I mean, it's so black. It's just you've got to reflect light, but now you get these harsh, super harsh black and whites. Like, it really just loses itself, which may be realistic, I suppose, but it's not nice looking.
Yeah. I agree.
Flying towards the sun, but definitely a Voyager callback with the out of the smoke.
Yeah.
It's a nice particle effect for sure. And then you get a heat up shot without really a payoff, I'm not sure. Like,
yeah, it's like it's entering an atmosphere. It's going to burn up, but it's like.
But it kind of stops before it gets fiery. I was expecting it to be part of a mini narrative, but just like we're gonna get vaguely hot and move on. I don't know. Yeah. Don't know why.
And actually, zooming in on that bridge module, doesn't look like there is a window.
Yeah, boom. There you
go. That one thing could be, I guess, but.
Well, we know from Scott Snyder it's content on and off, but
be.
clearly you can't see through the. Because you'd see in a light, so clearly this thing is that was solid, which hopefully they'll be included. But yeah, definitely it has a little light in front, so we know that was not the bridge window light. Hey, maybe they've removed the bridge window entirely. That'd be phenomenal. You
know. Yeah. Leaving a planet's orbit. That's a nice shot, actually. I don't mind that one. But what are you gonna say?
Well, this is really funny because this one, until it passes camera, it looks like a cartoon. How low detail the planet is. It looks so like if that was meant to be a TOS planet, I'd agree. You know what I mean? Like it's so low detail, and the ship is kind of lit in a way. I was like, oh, that's trying to be a TOS shot. And then it pauses and it's like, oh my god, the detail in the destroyed part. Like the first half is TOS, second half is oh my god, it's Orville. But I was like, it's so like low detail. I like it. It's very very TOS in its appreciation. But again, very dark ship. Like not even the windows really pop. It's very lost in its own. Wow. Very very.
Mm-hmm. The flyby camera is nice. The way the camera kind of follows it over.
Mm-hmm. Then you have, I think, my least favourite shot because the ship looks awful here. Looks like a hard black ship with plates that are the size of, this is the worst shot hands down. The anomaly is phenomenal, but that ship is, it's really bad,
I think this is mimicking the scene in Star Trek 3 where they're on their way back and you got the opening captain's log. With most of our band damage repaired, we're almost home when it passes the camera. But you see the really close shot of the secondary hull with the patches on the side of the repairs, but obviously it's heading the other direction. Just flip it and you'd have the exact same shot almost. I appreciated this one a little bit, but yeah, it looks too much like an STO ship with the gray hull plating that you can have on your ship,
like you feel as if you can see the polygons, you feel as if you can see the texturing. It has no spaceship vibe. It feels entirely like a CGI ship that's made 10 years ago. Like the NXO wanted better than this, easily. This is a bad lighting shot. I mean, it's obviously limiting itself. I don't know what they're going for here. But the anomaly's cool, but the ship looks really bad here.
Yeah.
Now the next shot I really like because it's the thumbnail. It actually has that nice almost cream feel because you're getting the reflections of the asteroid to give it a lighter feel. That's the only reason why it kind of works better for me, although you still get the really bold plating, which does not look overly amazing. But instead, it's a nice shot, although, again, it doesn't really have the same punch of Voyager or Enterprise, like mirror version. Like, it just is a bit flat.
Yeah, and that pennant on the side being like a 3D, like, raised element. I don't know how I feel about that yet. I don't mind the way it looks, honestly. I'm sure the ship is going to grow on me quite a bit the more I watch, but...
It's just the texturing, man. If it was textured clean like the TOS one, that would be a whole new level of quality.
Yeah. Yeah, but this is one of those... Specifically, this is one of those shots that looks like it's just from STO, honestly. Looks like something Z Films made.
So, let me end the poll. We've got a wonderful amount of people who have talked about it. And it's a great reaction, guys, because we're going to, when we review this sort of stuff, it's obviously on visuals. And we're obviously visual canon people, because that is the nature of storytelling, visual canon. We're getting to the show stuff, we'll obviously review it on narrative and characters, and then we can ignore the visual canon a lot more, etc. So, please be sure to tune in on probably Monday, although we're going to play it by ear. If whichever show is better, we're probably going to review on Friday. So if one stands out, what has more buzz? Because one is going to win that buzz battle, Stuart. One is going to win that battle.
Yep. But, and I have a feeling it's going to be Strange New Worlds.
I have a feeling
just
too.
For the record.
But I asked a question though, Stuart. 356 votes. It's phenomenal. What do you think of this new task sequence 45% liked it, 33% loved it, 15% okay, 6% didn't like it, which is a great success for them. So, great batting average. Well done, then.
If you have another poll, yeah. We have 289 people here, which is amazing, guys. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss any of our content. But 196 likes. We still haven't hit that 200 goal. I'm challenging you guys now to hit 250. With 290 people, it should be easy. Just hit that like button if you're just joining us, or if you just haven't been around since the last hashtag like spike that I called out. Please hit that like button. Also, don't forget there is a join button down there if you want to join the channel or subscribe to the channel, essentially. We'd really appreciate it. You can just click that join button and see the different options that are available to help us on a monthly basis. We'd really appreciate that as well if you can't super chat. And please, by all means, keep the super chats coming. Even if you want to super chat and rank your favorite intros from in any which way you want to do, from worst to best or best to worst. We would like to read those as well. So we just want to get your take on this whole thing. And have a discussion. So, yes, guys, up to 219 likes. Keep going, guys. We can do it.
A new poll. Read out when you see it.
Does the title sequence? Yeah, hold on here. Come back, poll. There we go.
Does that?
Does this title sequence visuals look, on average, movie quality, TV quality, or Star Trek Online game quality? That's a good question.
Yeah. And I said on average, so everything's going to be variable, but overall, what do you think? But yes, this is a nice shot.
Yes.
The next one is very much like the Star Trek Beyond shot. It's, the easiest and cheapest to make, but it's nice. It's okay.
Pink Nebula, the ship looks great from the top. Gotta admit, the nacelles are spaced properly apart, unlike the JJ Prize, so wins points for me for that.
Yeah, it's fine. The next one's nice, though, because you get... Well, it's a rainbow shot, there you go. That's why.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so weird. Starting on the background is already interesting. And just, this is where the black of the hull, the reflections work really well. It just really, comes to life here. And I see tendrils of I see this as being a cosmic, well, kind of like a nexus or even for some reason my brain goes like celestial alien, like a Marvel's creature who has tendrils of light that are coming off their big. That's just what I'm getting. But it's I just like this. This feels more epic to me, for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Even though it is very black.
We got a new PayPal from Kit 10K, $10 again.
Thank you.
I'll admit, I do like the ship's look, except for two things. One is the cutouts in the struts, but my biggest thing is the neck being so short. Yep, that's one of my big issues as well. There's another comment I was going to read here. Where is it? I can't find it now. Yeah, I can't find it.
All right. The next shot I do actually rather like. This I think has a lot more colour to it. And just the way the asteroids are placed, I feel there's more majesty. Although this resolution is really hard to see the detail of the ship.
Yeah.
But I do quite like this. This I think the timing is a bit odd with its zooming through space.
Yeah.
But I did like this thematically. Yeah, this is way too fast. It almost felt like a 2D sprite going. But this, in essence, I like a lot of the shot. I think this is more classical shot, more like Voyager, obviously.
Well, actually, it reminded me of Lower Decks.
Yeah.
But it's an epic shot for sure. And again, this is another STO shot for me. Just zoom your camera out, and even got the streaks behind it,
that one you do. Yes, you do.
Yeah. But no, I don't mind this one at all, really.
And next one, again, extremely dark to the point of no light.
Yeah. Look, a thing. Oh, and then we get the one that I was talking about. I guess it's not really from the top, but this is where all the 50 executive producers will be. I guess it's not a nebula, but there's green stuff. So... I don't know. This one, I don't know why it stood out to me so much because you can't really see the ship. I remember it different in my mind. I don't know.
Nothing to say. It's okay. It's...
Yeah. Mark Lawrence, $5. I'm just amazed they got the vents at the rear of the nacelles correct. Yes, with all little dots. Because in Where No Man Has Gone Before, which is the
Hey, bye, V.
which is the second pilot, really, they have the little holes in the back of the nacelles, and then they go to the semi-sphere. Yeah.
And then you have a shot of the Enterprise doing something. And yes, you can definitely see they have there's nothing in those. There's like a little just a little like grilling. It's hard to see those things being lit up. Those back heat exhaust. It really kind of glows. To say it glows a bit. But again, really black ship. And over the... That's weird, actually. The registry lights don't even work here. Like, you'd think from the top, but actually, you see that's the entire point is the registry. Why are the spotlights off here? And yet still providing light? Well, that's weird, isn't it? I mean, maybe they forgot to turn the pass on?
Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, they're missing. So...
Yeah.
I guess they just didn't remember. Guys, CBS, if you're watching this, you've got time. Go back in, tell Pixelmondo to quickly turn that layer back on because it's missing. But this is better because you can see the deflector.
It dips and heads right for the camera, though. I mean, that front shot's pretty nice, but again, those registry lights just ruin the look of the ship for me.
And even the facades as well. The domes aren't being lit. The inner domes are lit. Like, the outer glass is now... So the domes feel so tiny. They're so insubstantial. Really weird scaling. I mean, obviously all the proportions are different on the ship. Every single one, not a single thing is the same as the economy. Like, 100% different. So, okay. It's a very odd, kind of a weedy Enterprise. I think we're meant to be seeing inside the bridge in this shot. Inside the bridge dome.
Yeah, I think you can see through the top of the dome like you're supposed to be able to.
It's just so black.
I don't know.
So black.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be a black spaceship. Really, honestly, this could be a fully black spaceship. It could be the Vengeance Mark II.
Yeah. The shot. Okay. Anyway, I don't know. Again, this one is another one that felt very STO to me, but just what my brain sees when I see this shot. Ooh, actually, this next one is my favorite. And that's with the space station with the botany area or whatever.
Botany Bay. Botany area.
Like Cloud 9. But with the Enterprise in the background. Looks really nice.
And this is, I'm very fine with this as a reuse of the Discovery space station, but with these things on. Yep, fine reuse. You can see the limited model quality of the station from Discovery. I kind of wish they gave it a bit more juice. But again, it's also the dark lighting and just the over-reliance on odd reflective material that I don't necessarily see purpose for. Like, it has no life to it. It just has sort of shapes with stuff. So it's not really, again, it's not as good as the old designs, obviously. It's kind of what Discovery is a bit, but it's nice. And again, really small ship. I wonder why they keep showing us the ship in such tiny scale. It might be, as you said earlier, to have space for creators, or is it to kind of show how they're only a small part of the universe, in which I would have assumed they'd have more ships in the scenes.
Yeah, well, this one really invokes in you a memory of Trouble with Tribbles, where they basically just hung the AMT model kit outside the window of the manager's office. This is kind of what this image evokes for me. So
I can picture it. Picture it. But it would have been nice to have seen. As soon as I saw this, I thought, "Oh, why are there more ships in the title sequence?" Instantly, I'm thinking that, But yeah, I like ships.
You guys have some interesting comments. Got to say, Ray Ricks, £5.
Thank you.
I agree. The ship is really too dark. They are relying too much on the glowy bits. My Vengeance in STO is skinned brighter than this.
And Tertiary says, Orville built models, Kurtzman is cheap. they only use models for like one episode, then some cutaways. They never use models again after season 2.
Yeah.
So no, they built them and they broke and they never used them again. They've been CGI 99.9% of the time. So Orville models it's not even worth talking about.
Yeah.
Like they never use models really in the sense of what you've seen in the show. All the best shots are not model shots. That's because they're really cool. You know, you can get way more detail on CGI model than miniature by it's not even close. You know.
Well, the next shot where you see the registry. Another thing I don't like about the ship. I mean, it feels very refit, from the hull plating to the kind of Aztec-y look also in some shots, to the struts. They even put motion picture era font for the registry. They don't even use the TOS era font, which I'm not happy about. Sure, there's no red striping around it, but it's not the TOS font.
It's not the TOS ship. It's the Discovery Enterprise. Now, I do like the framing of this shot a lot at the end. I'm just worried about the pilots, because warping between two planetoids as they're colliding feels like a very dangerous move. So I love the visual.
Well, it's just artistic license.
No, I get that, but I'm just worried about the piloting. Like it breaks my brain. I like it going forward, but it shouldn't warp out, or it should. You know what I mean? I wish this wasn't the last shot. I wish it did this just a nice general fly in. So it looks lovely. This is also a rather nice shot. Just why are you warping at a planet?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I know
this
there's
I think is
millions of miles between, but it feels that way, which is, you know.
Yeah. Well, this shot here where it does go to warp and you get that glow, I think that's where it's gonna say Strange New Worlds or something. I just haven't added any of the text in yet.
Oh yeah, I suppose. Yeah, we'd have to, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, because there's no other reason for this shot necessarily. So.
But it's nice. I like this sort of very minimal planet vibe. I wish I was better at planets.
I'm not an art critic, but what I hate. But I know what I hate and what I don't like. In all fairness, this is before Kirk's 5-year mission. Enterprise will probably go through another refit before TOS. Yeah, sure.
I'm not overthinking. I'm discussing it. I mean, if you're not going to think about them, and they put time and effort into this, they want you to think about it and enjoy it. I mean, if you don't want to think about it, then you can't give them credit for the work they put in, because they thought about it, so we can think about it. Like, it's effort. This isn't just made by procedurals. They put time into this, thought into it. You know.
Yeah, the whole nitpicking and overthinking thing bothers me, because that's kind of.
It's an odd critique, given this our channel's been based on high-end breakdowns for 6 years. It's an odd thing to say.
Yeah.
But some people don't want to. Some people just want to watch and not think, and just watch it, move away, never think about it again. Popcorn, no analyticals. It can break canon. Doesn't matter to them. They just want to enjoy a thing and ignore it the next day. But that's not why we made this channel. It's to break down, look at canon, dissect, analyze theories, and try and make the rationales why and how and who. You know, that's important to us.
Hold on, I just got a message here.
So I'm interested. Now is my favourite thing after reviewing them all, because now I've really gone through it with everybody. And what's your guys' favourite shot then? Let us know in the chat. I think this flyby is probably one of my favourites, because you actually see the ship.
Yeah.
The last visual I really do like. As a visual.
Eric Martin, $2.
Thanks.
I like the impulse deck. Sorry, Cap. Yeah, I don't. I'm not a fan of the way they changed the back of that saucer.
Yeah, I like it fine.
I don't like the 2 little fins. It's very Shinzo.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I see when I see those damn fins on the back of the ship, and I'm like, no, I shouldn't be inspired by that at all.
John likes fins.
I know he does, because he likes X-planes, but Patrick says, how old is this ship supposed to be in Strange New Worlds? I would say 5 years at the least, possibly 10. I think Robert April had it for at least one 5-year mission.
Yeah, that was a 5-year before this.
Yeah.
It's slightly variable, but go into that other thing. But yeah. So I asked you all then. 201 votes. Does the tile sequence visually look, on average? The winner is TV quality, which is nowadays not a complaint. 43%. Second place, Star Trek Online game quality with 33%. And movie quality, 24%. Which I think is probably a fair thing. So yeah.
Yeah.
I really just think it was a trailer. You know, it just hasn't got that punch of a title sequence. You know? That's what's surprising about it.
Yeah, the only thing that gives it that sense is Pike's narration, but even that's uninspired. The music just doesn't have the punch, the gravitas, the excitement level, the grandioseness. I've used that word a few times in this one, but it just doesn't have that vibe to it, you know?
But I mean, they might change it. And first, they might change it every week. I mean, they may very much be pulling, you know, change it every half season. Who knows? It is very sort of in between things. So maybe it'll whatever. But guys, we are still $27 away from our minimum. So if you can help us out, that'd be great. A lot of great viewers here. And do you guys have a favourite shot in this? Put it in the chat right now. I'd love to know.
Yeah. And rank this out of 10 as far as intros go.
Okay.
To give it out of 10.
Yes, out of 10.
Sci-Fi Nation throws in $5. Not a fan of the TNG style windows. What are your thoughts, guys? Apologies if you brought this up before. Brought it up quite a few times, and yeah, I personally am not a fan of them. They should not be on the TOS Enterprise as wraparound windows like that. So
yeah, it's weird, but this isn't TOS visual canon. It's something else. It's a side thing. It's not trying to be one, so it's not the Enterprise as we know. It's a different Enterprise. Same thing. It's not trying to be.
I can't wait. I can't wait for a fan to recreate this intro with the actual TOS Enterprise. I am so excited for that day. And I'm sure somebody will do it. Like, it should be out in a day now. Somebody's already working on it.
Yeah.
Ashley Humphreys puts in £5. So thanks so much. I like the ship design altogether. I can't quite put my finger on it, but to me, the rendering looks a bit cheap. Maybe it's because it's stylized. Yeah, I got the same feel out of it. Like I said, it felt very. Well, Samuel even said one scene looked very animated. It felt very Star Trek game-like to me, as opposed to actually.
Well, like we compare, the Orville intro was bloody glorious. The season 1 one and the season 2 really wow, amazing. Yeah. And the ship looked a lot nicer because clean white has a certain scale and elegance to it. This just is missing. It actually feels very small. I'm surprised actually how small the ship feels in this tile sequence. It feels the scale that Connie should be, give or take, but
maybe they changed it. Maybe they fixed it. Maybe they realized.
It's really hard to say, Stuart. It's really hard to say.
Well, actually, when you see the one scene where Pike's heading to the Enterprise and you see the shuttle swoop over the saucer, it very much feels like it's the right size. It doesn't feel upscaled. So. But
then you see things like Transport Room that are 4 times the size, and it's like, well, if those things fit in the ship, then yeah.
Michael Smith, $5. Space Station Flyby was my favorite image. Do you believe it's a Federation starbase or another entity? The whole sequence was decent, not epic. I get the feeling it's another entity, like an alien space station of some sort. But I think going back and having done this now, I think that's probably my favorite shot as well, even though the Enterprise is so far away. But if we're going to be getting visuals like that in each episode, I'm happy. Like, I love that kind of stuff. So let's see. We got some PayPals by the looks of it. Kit 10K throws in $20, so thank you. Hell, as soon as I say this, some people will not be able to unsee it, but the pass by with the green lights behind the ship, those registry lights look like a white version of the laser on Kit from the original Knight Rider series. Well, at least it's not like swooping. Nothing much. And he also puts in another $50. Thank you. But it doesn't look like there's a comment with that one.
No, well, the comment is...
Comment is thanks for doing what we do, I guess. But thank you, Kit. Much appreciated. Oh, another super chat from John Sansone.
Thanks, John.
$10.
Mm.
Let's hope the turbo shafts aren't disco-fied.
Mm.
I know, right?
I would bet they are. I would assume they would be.
I would bet they're not.
Because we know they can and are in the short trek, so
Yeah.
I don't know why they'd remove those. It allows them to have visual things of it flying through the ship, literally flying. Yeah. But no, I mean, like I said, I'm keeping my expectations very low for this. Not in a I think it's gonna be bad way. I don't think it's gonna be bad. Just see it for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Just take it for what it is. And it's tricky for us, as I say, because our job is to review, to dissect canon, and this is not trying to be a canon classic Prime show. It's trying to be its own thing. So it's very difficult when you have designs that exist because you can't compare them. It's just they're not doing it that way. So it makes our job really quite difficult. So it was just interesting what they retcon because this is these are our heroes of the Enterprise, so they have to be given the A-star treatment compared to the future. The future crew is the future crew, right? So we'll get things like Hemmer, is that the guy's name?
Hemmer, yeah.
Yeah, he's the best engineer ever, because like in the context of the show, because he needs to be for this show, even though we like Scotty, etc. So it's interesting to see how it sort of reformulates with this cast. How big they're gonna feel, yeah.
Mm-hmm. See some of the scores you guys gave it. We got an 8, 7, 7, 5, 7, 7, 5, 8.5, 7, 8, and NCC 1701 out of 10. A C minus, 8 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10. Oh, so it never hit like anything past that. I think the highest was an 8.5. Yeah, 8.5. Huh. I mean, my scoring on this, as far as openings compared to other Star Treks, this would probably get a solid 7.6. It's creative enough. They tried to make it not boring. Like I'm glad it wasn't just the flybys of the TOS one. I can't stand that. So at least it's moved outside of that. But yeah, TXR way, £5. Picard and Discovery were both so awful that I am really put off Strange New Worlds. Unless the whole season is good, this is not Prime canon, no matter what CBS say. We agree. I agree anyway. Area 51, $5. Covered up by a poll. Going on record, I enjoy the Enterprise intro. I have faith. Yes. Now we have a new poll for you guys to vote on as well. Are you more excited for Strange New Worlds or Picard this week? I'm more excited for Strange New Worlds. That being said, I'm going to watch Picard first because I want to see how they end this fucking travesty. But yeah, and plus I don't want to watch Strange New Worlds and have it be really good and then have to force myself to watch Picard. I'm going to watch Picard first because I kind of know what I'm getting into there. That can only surprise me and make me feel better. I don't think they can disappoint me any more than they already have. So, and then I'll move into Strange New Worlds. So, yeah, that's my take. What about you, Sammy? What would you rate this out of 10 for an intro?
Now, am I doing enjoyment or comparing? Because that's a different metric.
Hey, go enjoyment.
Enjoyment. Okay, if it was just the first chunk with it turning on and then one more shot of it going to warp, say, I would have given like an 8.5 to 9 of like, yeah, that's a really nice classy intro, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the fact is I can do these flybys myself, you know what I mean? Like, I can do them. So I see it differently. Overall, like 6.5 enjoyment. It's a solid okay. Nothing grabbed me particularly. It's not bad by any means. It's not grabbing me. Compared to the other intros, like I say, I would put it near the bottom just because it doesn't grab me in any particular way, and none of the visuals really are like, oh, this is inspired. Especially in the olden days, you only had a couple of visuals, so they had to be really like solid. Each Voyager shot is quite specific and like, wow, this is a shot. And an advantage of a lot of some miniature work as well, which kind of helped. But I still haven't
Ash Lemon.
Oh,
Oh no, sorry. Ash Lemon says I give it a 17346721476
goodness.
out of 10. He goes through the whole thing. So yeah. Anyway, what were you gonna say? You're on something there. Okay, nothing. Tajesh Patal says, "Oh, good point, Cap. I was going to watch Strange New Worlds first, but I think I'll do it Picard first because of what you just said." Yeah. Yeah, better to eat your vegetables and things you don't like on your plate before you finish off your favorite thing, because otherwise you have the taste of the thing you don't like in your mouth after your meal. That's how I deal with things. Um, omni, om, omnitographer, omnitographer. I gotta write that down. $5. See below, please. I don't have $500 for a large enough super chat. He says I refer all matters of inviolable Star Trek canon to Captain James R. Kirk of the United Spaceship Enterprise and his Vulcanian science officer. Good points. They can be reached via subspace warp at your best possible time warp factor to the nearest Earth base or Earth colony. Though transmission lag may occur depending on which side of the galaxy you're in. That's good. That's funny. I like that.
But yeah, I want to know what you guys think. I was interested both the same as getting some decent numbers. Yeah, I'm kind of hoping the 50-minute episodes. That'd be great. I was watching funny. I was able to watch Moon Knight, and one of the comments I said, I don't know if you've seen that yet, Stuart.
Which one? The latest Moon Knight?
Well, all of them. We've been into them all today.
Yeah, I watched them all. Yeah.
And I said to Marie, it's a really interesting show in that it both takes its time, so it has like that Mandalorian sort of slow feel sometimes, but also isn't padding or wasting time. And I want shows to take the time and embrace their scenes, but not feel like they're dragging their feet. And that I thought they're doing really good at job at doing both at the same time. It's a hell of a thing to achieve. So I kind of hope this show again has you have time to embrace the scenes and let them breathe and not be rushed, but also have a good amount of story and pace in them. And it is very achievable. Lots of shows do it. So I'm really hoping for that.
I don't think we're going to get that from this.
Oh, no? You think they're going to go on the fast side? Or
I think, Moon Knight does a serialized story very well. Much like The Mandalorian does a serialized story very well. This isn't going to be serialized. It's going to be episodic. So I think we're in for a different feel for this one. Definitely different than Discovery and Picard so far. But I don't think we're going to have the same feel as Moon Knight necessarily.
No, I just meant pacing. I didn't mean the thing itself. I mean, by definition, it's going to have a higher sort of... In Moon Knight, obviously, the budget, if you fly onto a location, you sort of don't feel the budget because you're on a desert, but you had to go to a desert. Whereas everything here, they had to build, design, create. There's a lot of... Everything is a production design on the screen, so it feels expensive, etc. And I'm intrigued. I don't know if you saw they released another trailer today. It was a very clear, not showing us anything new particularly, but it was definitely focusing on Pike's story being, I know I died. This is a thing. I have to deal with this.
Yes.
So I think that's going to be the heavy serialized element plus Spock's Vulcan storyline. I think will also be the series long arc, and probably number one will have something as well that's specifically season long. Every episode they'll reference, every episode they'll build towards, and they'll have a big thing near the end, etc. So I think that'll be the element. And if you've got the Khan stuff, I think every character will have a serial arc. But then if you've got like 8 serial arcs inside of episodic, if you give each of those serial arcs 2 minutes an episode, you're still losing math. Wow. 16 minutes out of your 50 just on extending the arcs, which is okay. I would assume Hemmer has less story arc because his character is more about the Enterprise. I wouldn't necessarily expect to see more of him. And Chapel, he's leading to get...
I disagree. They're going to focus on Hemmer because of the disability of him being blind, I think. He's very confident with himself from the interview I saw with the actors. So I think he's going to be a big one.
No, I don't mean that. I mean, he wouldn't have a serialized story like every episode dealing with. Oh, so just he's disabled. Here's his weekly adventure. But that's episodic though.
No, not his. He doesn't consider it his disability. So, the question of what his whole the way his people think, is that you live, you die once you've accomplished what you're here to accomplish. His job is to fix broken things. I think there's going to be a really strong story arc with him because he's already kind of edging out a lot of the other crew as like a fan favorite. So I think they're going to focus a little bit on him.
Okay,
with some kind of serialized arc.
They just haven't hinted at anything with him. There's nothing in the trailers that show him as a story. So I was more going on that. Of all the people, he's had 0.
Yes.
Whereas Pike, I think, is obviously going to take the reins. Because I was fine with him being very much a I think he's more of an episodic character. Kind of fits in with everyone else. Kind of like the Doctor, I think, as well. Mbenga, I think he's kind of like, because you can't have really 8 season-long arcs developed. It's really difficult.
I think you can. TNG did it, but
what was Crusher's season 3 arc? They really didn't do it.
They're not gonna have a per season arc.
No, exactly. That's what I mean.
Not TNG. Jesus Christ. DS9 did it. All the characters kind of had something going on, but it was really well interwoven into the stories.
I think also because there were 26 episodes, that's a little bit different, and they didn't have a bit each episode. They were very broken up into, these 6 are going to have Kira arc, these 7 are this, so they had that flexibility. Now they kind of play it as a... That I agree with, but it was framed extremely differently.
And Patrick, yes, the actor is legally blind. He can see a little bit, but yes. Let's see here. SVS Guru 2000 throws in €5. Thank you so much. Not really excited for either Picard or Strange New Worlds. More like deflated for Picard and trepidatious for Strange New Worlds. Yeah, that's a pretty good answer. I'm right there with you on that. Guys, if you haven't hit like yet, hit like. We need 3 more likes to get to 280 would be a good number. And honestly, another $10 in Super Chats would be awesome. We have that last Super Chat slot available. SPS Guru has it currently, but if anybody else wants it, now's the time to jump in if you'd like. We'd appreciate it. Let us know your thoughts and make sure you hit that like button. Ronnie Koff throws in $5.
Thank you.
I create title sequences for a living. Thanks for taking the time to value them. Love you guys. Oh, I appreciate that. And awesome. That's a cool job. I would love to see the process involved with that.
Well, and not just that, but if you're creating... awesome. If you're creating things like... There was a Renaissance tile sequence where Westworld inspired, then Discovery inspired a load of other ones, where they were very sort of build it as you go on. Even like the new Halo one is very similar. This is much more classical in its style, but that was definitely an industry. I don't know if that's Ronnie, specifically that sort of style is what you've done where it's all like concepts and abstract, building a Westworld robot from the inside of a horse that's running on trip. Like, what is that? But it's arty. And that's interesting because that is almost surrealism, almost, but there's that fine line. Yeah. And that's hard because they've got to be sort of connected thematically and yet really not. Yeah, I enjoy tile sequence. I've done a few things, and it's hard because you don't want to repeat yourself, and you don't want to not repeat yourself because also there are certain things that look good, and especially with certain ships, certain angles look good. So it's like, well, you can't not use your angle because that's the angle it's good at. Yeah, it's tricky.
I have a question for you then, Samuel, in just 1 second. But first I want to get to YJ Wrangler's comment. Will this be on Crave? Yes, this will be on Crave in Canada, do not worry, and on CTV Sci-Fi as well. But my question for you then is, on opening sequences, what do you think about the Halo one?
It's good. It's abstract. It's appropriately. It's nice. Like it's you know what I mean. It sticks to you in the concept, but not necessarily the execution. Like, oh yeah, it was his armor. He was becoming the Master Chief over time. But you're not thinking, oh, I remember the shot where his arm came onto his arm. So it's works in that respect, and the endings are very, very good visual. It's very clear, light man. So that I think works much better, but it's simpler, and that's why I think really just that starting intro lights on would be much cleverer. Just stick with that, and also with thematically linked to TMP as well, having the lights, I guess, turn on, which is weird. Like, would be much cheaper as well if they'd done that. Yeah.
Eric Martin, though, throws in $5.
Hey.
Going for the last super chat slot, I guess, Eric.
Mm.
Says a lot of the trailers for movies are better than the movies themselves, so those people have skills. It's because they take the best parts of the movie and there's nothing left.
It's also tricky because everything's out of context. So a cool visual is a cool visual. There's no, we rewatched the Moon Knight trailer because I thought it'd be interesting to see how they framed it, and then it's all in the first two episodes, except one shot. That's episode 4. That's a huge spoiler if you then know it, but you don't know it. How could you? So it's funny how they do that, and I'm very much oh hey Italy. I would love to do trailers for my fan films, but if you have to make a 3-minute trailer on a 10-minute film, there isn't enough footage.
Yeah.
And also I want to do new polls as well.
Yes.
So I really see what you guys think. A lot of people. I asked though. I'm excited for Stranger Worlds, Picard, or both this week. 70% Stranger Worlds, slam dunk. 24% the same. So only 7% of the 100 is Picard. New poll coming your way. Please vote on this. I'm interested to see what you guys think.
Yes, John Sansone, though, throws in $10, and his comment is just because. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Area 51, $5. I'm looking forward to Strange New Worlds because it might be good, might be bad. It's the unknown, so let's explore it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. I'm hoping it's good. Oh, and Kit 10K says he has a PayPal. Let me check that. $20, but I don't see a comment with that one. It's just like a receipt thing. I don't see a comment, Kit. Literally just says $20 and gives me the transaction ID. Sometimes PayPal, some of the comment parts come in like half an hour later, so I'll be able to see what you said later. Like the other night when you were sending PayPal, I didn't read 2 of them because I didn't see them I didn't see them during the live. I just saw the receipt for the amount. So, but thank you very much for the PayPal. But yeah. Ooh, can we get 11 more likes? Have 11 people out there not hit that like button? Let's get up to 300 likes if possible. And I know Samuel's going to ask, but we're at that mark right now where another $20 would be an awesome way to end out. So 2 10s, couple 5s, that would be greatly appreciated as well. But yeah.
New poll, Stuart. And this I'm really interested in. Really interesting.
Ooh, let me see what it says. What are you more excited for in Strange New Worlds? Seeing the new Enterprise, seeing our characters, episodic Trek stories, or alien races and planets? Wow.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, it's, if you had to pick, these are obviously all, but if you had
Yes.
that's why it's a poll. That's why it's an interesting situation. Oh, yeah, Stuart was, oh, man, yeah. What was your number? Oh.
Well, we hit 300 likes. Still waiting for another 20 would just be an awesome number to end on. Just all I'm saying. We're good where we are, but 20 is a good way to end out.
Yeah, we had some ups and downs last month, so this is a night. Yeah.
Yes, we're hoping Strange New Worlds is good and brings in the audience every week. Oh, Taylor T just solved the problem right there. $20 super chat. I missed saying this on Friday, but NX Refit being made canon is need to celebrate. Well, we did. We celebrated by making a video about it. It was out on Saturday, so if you haven't seen it, go check it out. But yes, I mean, it's canon that it's in Star Trek, but it's also not official canon that it was ever refitted into that. It could have been a concept of what was going to be, what never actually made, but turned into a model nonetheless.
In essence, the shape of the NX refit is now in canon as an in-universe item. That is as far as... Although Doug shared it. I don't know if you asked him to, but it was lovely to see Doug.
I did not tell him to share it, no.
He used to share our stuff when, there was no new Trek, etc. So it's very nice that... Because, we're very positive, as we should be. It's good to see it.
Kit's like, what the hell? I can't comment on PayPal now? Seriously? Tried to say that it sucks not being able to super chat because I love instigating a sniping super chat war. Thank you, Kit. But Matt Boardman, $20. I've heard from someone who has seen the first 5 episodes that we know more about the new characters in 4 of those episodes than we do in 4 seasons of Discovery. I know more about them watching the trailers than I know about everybody in Discovery. So there's that.
But
They're probably a lot more likable too.
Yeah, but I have no doubt. Hey, Doctor, I've no doubt. I mean, I've said this, like, character. They're really hitting character well. They're really. I mean, they. You've got to imagine the productions are seeing the overall consensus, and it's odd then that still after every year from 2 onwards they said we're going to give the side characters more to do, and they never quite did. I guess although more is an odd phrase, is more than 1%, 2%. Give our nurses a pay rise. We want more. Here's 0.5%. Well, it's more. It's like, yeah, but that's not what we meant. We meant to actually help them, etc. So that's a UK themed complaint specifically, but so giving them more is great. And I it'd be great to have episodes with them as the lead, taking on a primary role. We don't need Pike as the lead in most of the episodes. Honestly, the captain role is not to go on every away mission. Be episodic, live in the world. Have a full Hemmer episode where he's fixing things with, it's an ensemble, so you can have the captain come in and give an order, have something cool on the upstairs of the ship. That's fine. That's absolutely great. It feels more like an ensemble than a lead. And we all, if we could make a TOS season 4 in 60, I guess 1970, I would give everyone else more to do. I would pull time away from Shatner and give them all more to do, personally. So having that in from the right there, yeah, I think there's a benefit from that.
Ryan Asepian throws in $5 with no comment, but thank you so much. Looks like you're going for that last super chat slot. So, boom, there's a $5 last super chat slot, unless somebody else gets it from you. But thank you so much.
And Good Old Gamer says the very show's existence is them trying to fulfill fan service, fan service is such a poisoned word now, which I don't like people using really. It wouldn't be here if they weren't seeing feedback. You say that, but apparently Akiva Goldsman, who's a showrunner, actually assumed this was going to be Discovery when he was told about Discovery, and then he pitched it as well, we should do this instead. So they had the idea before anyway, so they had the idea, well, Akiva had the idea, and then saw the reaction and greenlit it, so it was
And Nicholas Maple says it took 2 seasons for TNG the show to find itself. We have 4 seasons of Disco and 2 of Picard. I wish I was more hopeful. Yeah, but 10 episodes a season as opposed to 26 for TNG. They had a lot more time to find their footing than... Plus, like we said, with episodic format, some of them, even season 1, were really good episodes in TNG. So you can have good ones, you can have bad ones. It's just the nature of the beast.
Yeah, Discovery's only halfway through... There's only like 10 episodes into season 2 at this point of TNG logic, and they spent 100 million more.
Yeah.
Spent 5 times the budget in 4 times as many years. It's a hard thing to compare against. Because in theory, between every season, you've got time to prep, think, and develop. And so when you still remain weak show after that many to develop, etc. But there's obviously extraneous factors. I can't wait to see the tell-all in 20 years' time.
Yeah.
The different direction. It was interesting. The Star Trek 5. I mean, no one knew about Star Trek 5 stuff. And then Shatner did very interesting. That helps you recontextualize. It wasn't Shatner's fault. It really wasn't Shatner's fault. And so, that's what's going to come out. They've got to keep under contract until a certain point. You'll see what, why, how, and who. And let's be honest, certain shows are more talk. We talked to Lower Decks and Prodigy. They're the shows, but they want to talk to the fans. Discovery, extremely closed. Extremely closed. Stranger World, less so, but they haven't started yet. And Picard, less so, but middle of the road.
Well, season 2 was when they kind of had any contact with anybody involved.
You're right. New team.
Yeah.
And obviously they know what's going on, etc. But just insular.
Yeah. Good Tea, Nice House throws in $2, so thank you. Kit 10K can't snipe my super chat. Woot woot. There you go, Kit. You've been called out. You need to get the Google stuff fixed.
Oh, yeah, and and Darth Eddie's right. Contranier mentioned the other day on Shuffleboard Show that they ran for only 4 seasons, but had about 100 episodes. Discovery has barely hit 40, so of course Enterprise might have 4 seasons each, but they're not even remotely on episodes or stories or even hours. So 4 seasons is not equivalent. So
4 seasons, maybe 40 episodes. Well, just over 40 episodes and 4 stories. Good job, guys.
Well, that's a yeah.
You gotta look at it that way. Serialized storytelling. It's all one long story.
Well, especially as season 3 and season 4 of Discovery, and I know Michelle Paradise said this, that it's season 4, even though it feels like an end of the show, easily could be the end of the show, they want it to be the end of the 2-season arc of the future, like Welcome to the Future. And it took 2 years to make what season 3 did Enterprise in 1 year, and season 3 of Enterprise was much better than season 3 and 4 of Discovery, with a lot less money and a lot less time to produce it. You know, I mean, if you think they had 1 week to get production prep to then start filming, to film it, to move on to the next show, or 2 weeks, 1-2 weeks, and Discovery had 2 years.
Yeah,
and it'd be amazing to see what the Enterprise team could have done with double the budget and triple the time. You know what I mean? Like give them those resources, and then vice versa. Imagine if you gave the Discovery team make 26 or 22, I suppose, 22 next year for half as much money. They would be hard pressed to do that. I think they're not set up for that. That'd be an interesting experiment.
Kid 10K says that Good Tea Night's House is now on his list. And Bryant Fuller throws in...
But not Brian Fuller. Bryant.
No, thank God. He'd be airlocked.
Hey, no, I'd invite him on the show, Stuart. I want to talk to Brian.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Absolutely, Stuart. Come on.
I would too. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. I want to have Alex Kurtzman on the show. Anyway, Bryant Fuller puts in $10 and says, "I can't wait to see what happens. I'm also hoping for a Picard spinoff with the Stargazer. Too much money on any of those ships and the sets to go to waste." Well, if you can ask for it. We got Pike. We got this show as a result of fan outcry. So.
And then Rise comments saying, "Well, who'd you cast as young Picard?" And he actually meant, the new Stargazer, not the old Stargazer, because they built a rather elaborate set for 1 episode.
Yeah.
Not really, but yeah, I'm saying not really, but it feels like that. Yeah. But yeah, who would you cast as young Picard?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily want to see
I hate
young
that
Picard.
question because it's like I need to.
Yeah, but I want to see young Picard. I mean, not as an interactive character. You know, I'd rather see an old Janeway in a post-Voyager show than a young Picard in a Lost Era show. Like, I want them to move forward and tell new stories with the characters we know that you can pull from everyone. If you use a young Picard, you guess you could use an old McCoy, I suppose, but like no, just.
You just made me think of a quote from The Simpsons.
Ooh.
Forward, not backwards. Upwards, not forwards. And always twirling, twirling, twirling towards the future.
Oh, and maybe unmurder Icheb. That'd be great. Just unmurder him, bring him back. Which, in fairness, maybe they broke the timeline. They brought Icheb back. Then they, reset the timeline for some reason. He's a timeline residual. Don't know.
Well,
do you think, Stuart, there'll be a season 3 trailer at the end of season 2 of Picard? So leave people with a positive note. I think they've got to have, because they've finished filming. They're deep in post.
I wouldn't be surprised. I will watch after the credits. Put it that way.
Because I felt they need to. They're not going to leave people on a big, satisfying note, because it's obviously 2 of 3. But I feel like to have a trailer, like, especially if they are, I mean, let's be honest, they are fighting Strange New Worlds, which is the show everyone wanted. The only way you can really have noise is to show LaForge in uniform, say, or someone else in uniform in a trailer, or even the final scene be someone in uniform come on. I think that's the only way they can kind of keep up without them being kind of blasted by Strange New Worlds. Or a release date. I mean, or like a...
That's what's going to happen.
5 months. It's like, ooh.
This is going to happen. They're going to get back to the future. They're going to stop the Stargazer from getting blown up. And then right behind the Borg ship, out of the rift, is going to come an Enterprise D Galaxy class from like another dimension temporally. And it's going to call up the view screen. It's going to be Riker there. And you're going to see the bridge of the Enterprise and everything. That's what I think is going to happen. Geraldine Karstensen, $10. A snipe for Kit 10K. Ooh, now people are sniping for you, Kit. Oh, good tea, nice house. You've been called out.
What a community we have. That's helps our wheels turn beautifully, and you guys notice the legends in chat and make your own legends, and that's what a tangled web of whatever we weave, and like that sentence which weaved into nothing. Yes, thank you. That's what I was going. Actually, yes. Now, the interesting thing I saw, which is why partially why I asked the question, is that Gates McFadden, because they don't quite know what they can say and not say, and it's amazing that got through. She announced today she just finished her ADR on the first 6 episodes of Picard. So Crusher is in the first 6 episodes of Picard, season 3. That's big. And not saying she's done. So I mean, if you want to talk about him finding love again, Crusher would make sense. So have her in every episode. That would be bold. And if she's in at least 6, the first 6, I mean that's a great sign. And we've talked about how they've clearly lowered the budget for Picard season 2 drastically. So if they said we are going to hire the entire TNG cast for one full season, almost all of them in almost every episode, and we find an extra 10 million, let's just grab some season 2 budgets, because people will be okay with that, because season 3 we get everyone back. That would be impressive. Especially, I'm sure I would think they have a TNG cast have a non-compete clause, meaning everyone except Patrick gets the same money. I can imagine at a principle, like you hire us all for a flat rate, doesn't matter on hierarchy. Frakes may be higher, but he also gets some for directing. I can imagine they might just say that, like, we all get paid the same, we're not going to be here, which means you can negotiate, like, Michael Dorn down. He might want more personally, because he was in DS9 as well. If they all get the same rate, to allow them all to be in, then it feels very fair and equal. I can imagine that might be what happened. Because they also want to be in it, as actors. I mean, they didn't do anything in the pandemic, and now they get to be in a TV show again. It's a big deal. I mean, if you can get, 6 million, or not, 2.5 million to be in a show, like, why wouldn't you be in a show for 2.5 million? That's a lot of money. Take out tax.
Yeah. Well, that's the hope anyway, that season 3 is going to just be as good as people are thinking it might be. That's all I can say. Darth Maul says, you guys said Medalist wrote and was involved in the first 2 or 3 episodes of Picard season 2, and those were the best of the season. So my optimistic view is less pessimistic. Yep. That being said, Akiva Goldsman took over the rest of the season 2, and he's also in charge of Strange New Worlds. So,
as the actual showrunner.
As the showrunner.
Which does mean he's not necessarily writing. Well, he did write the pilot. I do remember that.
Good God.
The showrunner does get, if they're a writer, they get some level of, if he wants to write the first episode, he will. He's a showrunner. He can do whatever he wants, almost. And guys, finish off with a poll. If we get another 25 votes in the poll, that'd be great. Really would love to know what you guys think.
Yeah, good old gamer. I'm gonna love the tantrums in the chat when Wesley shows up. Yeah, I have a feeling Wesley's gonna be back, even though his name wasn't in the cast listing. I think he's gonna be back. Just a gut feeling. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
I mean, I have no feelings on it either way, really. Wesley was great when he was great. He was already great, but he was great when he was great. It's all the writing.
He needs to come back as a captain or something. I think that'd be very appropriate, even if it's not for the full season, just for an episode or a cameo.
Or have him phase in and be the,
or that too,
Traveler.
Being with the Traveler.
It makes more sense he appears in as a transphasic being. It's like,
maybe he's going to save Picard in this next episode.
I mean, that would... Yeah, I'm not in season 3, guys, I promise. Because I'm in season 2. Hey, that'd be a reveal. And, because he's been travelling for the last 30 years, he's now got, like, the Traveller's makeup. His hands are now compressed. Because that's what happens to you. So, Will Wheaton put on this grey makeup. Lose that beard for us. What? Yeah, if he's suddenly doing a Ready Room in, like, a no beard, like, that's why. Dear me.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
final poll results though, because we do have to go do other things. I asked, what are you more excited for on Stranger Worlds? The new Enterprise, the characters, alien races, and episodic Trek stories, and hands down episodic wins at 55%.
That's the Star Trek way.
That is, yeah. Well, it hasn't been for
and it's shown.
Decade.
And it's shown. That's all I have to say, man. Can't wait for Will Wheaton to interview himself on the Ready Room. LOL. Don't know if any of you here right now or were on my live on Saturday night, but talking about how optimistic Will Wheaton is in every Ready Room interview ever. I did a pretty good impersonation of him. People seem to like it. It's going to be a standard thing, I guess, from now on. But if you don't join the late night lives, what's wrong with you? Come and join them. They're fun.
Yeah, he seems quite disingenuous, honestly.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I saw that scene. I was moved to tears. It was so touching. Some of the most poignant Star Trek ever written.
And you just hear crickets from the fans, and it's like...
Yeah,
huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It was some of your best acting you've ever done.
Huh.
No, it really wasn't.
Huh.
I don't know. Hashtag Wesley. Yes. Shill Wheaton. Oof. That's harsh. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we'll call it there then. It looks like Geraldine Carstensen has the last super chat slot for Kit 10K. So I guess Kit 10K went out again with the last super chat slot.
What are the chances?
Well, Geraldine and Kit both win.
Yes. But one 51%. Just, because they put this super chain.
Yeah.
No, thanks, guys. We will see you throughout the week for more lives, as we always do. Oh, and we are going to do a Trekyards live as well at some point. Do Picard retrospective. So that'll be fun.
Maybe this upcoming weekend, maybe the weekend after. I'm not sure yet.
Not the weekend after, because I'm filming a lot. Oh, yeah, that's how wrong. Yeah.
Well, we'll figure it out,
yeah.
and we'll let you guys know.
No, I'm doing a 4-day Trek Shorts filming on the 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th. Everyone's missing each other by a day, give or take, in terms of teams, because they just have a weekday team and a weekend team, and that's going to be a big shoot. Big shoot. I've got someone coming down from Ireland.
They must be awesome, because Foley's an Irish name. You didn't tell me you bought me plane tickets. Cool, it'll be good to see you after so long.
Yeah.
Oh, Good Tea Nice House, $2. Pew pew pew. Good Tea Nice House did win the super chat war. Sorry, Kit. Sorry, Geraldine. I hate that thing. God damn. That is the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my life. It looks like a label maker.
54p.
Yep.
85p. 6 out of 10.
Gun. Yep.
Wish it would go down. Because this isn't kill, apparently. Apparently it goes down for stun, but it was never in that in the show because it was but it's meant to go down. And that was, yeah. Anyway. On that note,
Good Tea Nice House wins the Sniper Chat War. Sorry, guys. But join us, like you said, all this week, and definitely the end of the week. We'll see what we're going to be
slammed.
Yeah.
Tune in.
So until then, he's Commander Cocky.